Beyond the beauty, there is a darkness in the city. Really, from every economic class and group, from each tribal community, there is a darkness in all of us that only Jesus can truly meet. But beyond that, there's a darkness that comes from our isolation from each other. And if salvation means anything, it means that we will one day be reconciled economically, relationally, racially, personally, to one another. There will be no one we would count as enemy. You're the Lord of this nation. And it's the purpose of the body of Jesus Christ to live into that reality as a living sign of Jesus on the earth.
Good afternoon. My name is Patricia Allen Dick. I am Tlingit and Mohawk. So my family's from Alaska and also New York. I am Native, Alaska Native and American Indian. I'm a recent graduate from the University of Washington. I went to school for American Indian Studies, and I have a father who also survived from a boarding school in Alaska. And the reason why I'm addressing this is, as a recent college graduate from the University of Washington, I was not educated about boarding schools until I got into college. In order for me to understand the trauma within my own family, including my father, who had suffered 10 years from being in a boarding school, faced a lot of trauma physically, sexually, and emotionally, I feel as though this is very vital to understanding the history here in the Northwest.
I'm here to give a voice to my grandmother, Ella Aquino. She told me they did unspeakable things to the boys and the girls. They were severely punished if they even spoke their language. They shamed the boys. She told me they taught them only labor skills. They would not educate them out of the books.
Good afternoon. My name is Matt Remley. My Lakota name is Wakiawanatan. I'd like to thank you for the opportunity to speak on behalf of support of the boarding school resolution. My grandparents and many of my aunties and uncles all attended boarding schools throughout South Dakota and had very traumatic experiences. And over the course of over 100 years, roughly 100,000 Native children ages 5 to 18 were forcibly removed from their homes and placed in these far remote boarding schools where our languages were forbidden. It's why we're up here speaking to you in English today. Our spirituality was forbidden. We were mass physical and sexual abuse. And to this day, this country, let alone other non-Native peoples, have yet to even acknowledge that this era has taken place.
With Nebraska Republican Senator Ben Sass. He's the author of a new book, Them, Why We Hate Each Other and How to Heal. Welcome, Senator.
Thanks.
So, you say this isn't about politics.
It's not.
But you're a politician.
It's one of my callings. I'm also a dad and a neighbor and a Husker football addict. So
why is it not about politics? Because when people think of what's tearing this country apart, politics is often the culprit.
There's a lot that's going on that's acute the last 2 years, but I think what we're really struggling with is decades in the coming. We're living through a digital revolution, which is undermining place. I think the biggest problem in America right now is loneliness. And the good news is it's fixable, but it requires friendship. It requires more attention to place and family and shared vocation and work and neighborhood and worshiping communities.
Help people understand what you mean by place.
Yeah. So, where you live is where you actually love. And communities of love are the center of what really keeps people happy. There's a ton of literature now that shows we're the richest people in the history of humanity, and yet we're some of the most dissatisfied people in the history of humanity. How do you make sense of that? And it didn't start 2 years ago. It starts because the digital revolution is really undermining that sense of local community and neighborhood.
The malls of our city and the shopping places of our city, you will see every ethnic, cultural, religious, economic group present. The homeless with the rich. And in that sense, it is an incredible city. But underneath, In the places we live and worship, we are racially, culturally, economically divided. It cries for an intersecting community of faith that bring those things together. Faith, culture, race, and economics. May God help us.
Look down from a broken sky, traced out by the city lights. My world from a mile high, best seat in the house tonight. Touchdown in the cold black top, hold on for the sudden stop. Breathing the familiar shock of confusion and chaos. All those people going somewhere. Why have I never cared? Give me your eyes for just 1 second. Give me your eyes.
West Seattle Church of the Nazarene has always felt like home for Sean Matson.
I grew up playing hide and go seek and running around and loving this place.
His dad was pastor there.
This is the sanctuary of the church.
Now he is. But the building has admittedly seen better days. That came to a head a few years back.
We were dealing with a real issue of lead paint on the outside of our building. The cost just gets astronomical. And so for us, we faced the real issue of if we wanted to stay here, we had to come up with a solution to deal with that.
And that's how their home became home to others.
The reality was, if we didn't sell some of it, we would be selling all of it.
They sold their churchyard to build 6 townhomes and a public park.
This is where my new neighbors will be living.
The proceeds from those buildings will let them repair theirs.
Let's do some of those things that would help us to continue to be able to open this building to the community for the future.
For Sean, it's a lesson in having faith.
I sat over a meal, I remember it was teriyaki, it was in Olympia, and I was told a very bleak picture of this building and this area, and I remember walking away thinking, oh, we're going to have to move and sell everything. And I was within a year of moving and accepting the job. So I think the big takeaway is it's never too bleak. There's always an open door and there's always a path through it.
Even if sometimes you have to build it yourself.
Well, I'm not a builder, so even if you have to create community with somebody who can help build the door for you to walk through.
That works too.
Yes.
Michael Crow, King 5 News.
Those homes, by the way, could be done as early as January.
Conversations began some months ago, just rolling around the idea and wondering what it would look like if we, in the love of Jesus and with an extended hand of friendship, opened the doors during the week and invited moms and their young children to come in and meet with other moms, have a safe, warm, happy place for their children to play, all in the context of friendship and conversation, a warm cup of coffee. And so we opened in October of this year and have had every Tuesday and Thursday between 13 and 27 children bring their parents in and have so enjoyed being the hands and feet of Jesus in this way and being a place and a space to bring our neighborhood together.
Hey, hi, Gary.
I've seen it the same.
Could all that is lost ever be found? Could a garden come out from this ground at all? You make beautiful things. You make beautiful things out of the dust. You make beautiful things. You make beautiful.
I think we've had a halving of friendship in America the last 27 years. It's a stunning thing. You know, nomadic tribes, agrarian history, industrial economics, people have always known their neighbors and known their coworkers. Decreasingly, we don't know those things. We've gone from 3.5 friends per American 27 years ago to about 1.8 friends today. Politics can't fix this. Politics didn't cause this. But it's true that our political tribalism is filling that vacuum, that loneliness that's coming from all these other institutions. We have a decline of the nuclear family structure a lot the last 25 years. And politics is a place people look to try to find meaning in the absence of these other communities that actually can make you happy.
And I see our people struggling, having a hard time, trying to adapt. And our people come out from out of the reservations, come out of the residential school, come out of the boarding school, and they struggle from that. But I see them on the streets where my wife and I, we work to go and try to encourage them to stand up. Because life is for the living. Now is the time to warrior up. Now is the time to work together to help make a stronger nation. Now is the time to stand up together.
Just 1 second, give me your eyes so I can see everything that I keep missing. Give me your love for humanity. Give me your arms for the brokenhearted, the ones that are far beyond my reach. Give me your heart for the ones forgotten. Give me your eyes so I can see